Good evening. You are now tuned into Reaching Your Potential, the weekly podcast about health, wealth, business, relationships, and becoming the very best version of yourself. The year is now 2017. Happy New Year's to everyone out there. Your podcast is hosted by yours truly, Darlene Scott, CEO and founder of Basic Bliss Life Coaching, where we take a holistic approach to transformation and success. Yes, let's get into it. Happy New Year, everyone. This is your host, Darlene Scott, and I'm so happy to be here with you this evening. So bear with me a little bit. This evening, I'm doing something a little different. Normally, when I record my podcast, I am sitting down and I am very focused and very contained. However, this evening, I am going to move about as I speak. I'm going to move my hands, and even though you out there can't see me, I might even stand up at times. So if you hear fumbling in the background or hear my charm bracelet making noise, that's because I'm becoming really passionate about what I'm speaking about, and I've decided to use hand movements or to walk back and forth. I'm a speaker and I'm used to being on stage, and I find myself feeling really confined when I'm doing a radio show because I'm sitting there and the mic is here and I'm just like staring straight ahead, and I want to jump out my seat sometimes. So I'm going to just go for it. So bear with me. So today we're going to be talking about emptying your cup and filling it with good things. No New Year's resolutions. We're not talking about New Year's resolutions. We're talking about life-changing techniques, interventions, things that we should be doing. We should be cleaning out our cup, cleaning out our temple, cleaning out our heart, and making room for the blessings that are coming our way in the year 2017. So I really want you to listen to this podcast and visualize 2017 being your absolute best year. Like, this is the best year ever. Your life is going to unfold miraculously. You are going to experience wonderful growth. You are going to meet people. You are going to finally start moving closer towards your destiny. And all the other years that came before this were preparing you for this year. Because remember, we cannot plant seeds and reap the harvest in the same season. So all the heartbreak, all the pain, all the anger, setbacks, disappointments, all of those things that came into your life in those prior years, they were all setting you up so that you can be where you are right now in the year 2017, ready to make some changes. So instead of talking about New Year's resolutions, we're going to be talking about deliberately making lifestyle changes, emptying your cup and filling it with good things. Now, at first, when I was trying to think of what the title should be, I came up with so many different things to say. I said emptying your cup and filling it with love, emptying your cup and filling it with kindness, emptying your cup and filling it with abundance. And then I realized that there's so many things that your cup or your soul, your spirit, your body could be filled with, that I shouldn't limit it to just love or just kindness. So a catch-all phrase, I said, filling your cup with good things. Now, the whole point in telling you to first empty your cup is to point out that if you are harboring feelings of anger or feelings of resentment or unforgiveness or rage. You cannot start to fill your cup with those good things. So let's talk a little bit about what are those good things. I'm glad you asked. So some of the good things that you could fill your cup with or fill your spirit with have to do with you forgiving others. And I know forgiveness is so hard, but when you're able to forgive, you are able to heal. And when you're able to heal and forgive, you are able to love. And love and kindness and patience, these are virtues that will always bring more of that to you. So you want to treat others how you want to be treated. You would like to be forgiven. No one's perfect. I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm not perfect. But I need forgiveness sometimes. Sometimes I hurt people's feelings. Sometimes I violate. And when I violate, I need forgiveness from that person. That person needs to release me. I need to apologize and be willing to be held accountable. So sometimes when we forgive people, it's not just about saying, okay, what you did wasn't wrong. It's saying, I recognize what you did was wrong, but I know that you're human and I'm able to forgive you. Forgiveness is recognizing that you are not perfect and neither is the person that you're dealing with. So you want to fill your heart with good things: love, patience, kindness, forgiveness, empathy, and a desire to grow in wisdom and understanding. So how does your cup get filled? Over the last few years, or over the course of your life, really, over the whole course of your life, you are taking in energy. You are interacting with people. You are going to work. You're going to school. You're listening to podcasts. You're watching TV. You are constantly filling your cup. And when I'm talking about your cup, I'm talking about your spiritual cup. I'm talking about your spiritual vessel. A cup is something that holds a substance, a liquid substance usually, and a cup can overflow. So your cup can overflow with love. Your cup can overflow with patience, or your cup can overflow with anger. You are a vessel, and a cup is also a vehicle of transport. So if I want to get something to drink in the middle of the night, I go to the refrigerator and I get some iced tea and I walk towards my room. So I've transported that iced tea from out of the kitchen area into my bedroom area. So when you think of yourself as a cup, remember, whatever you have in you, you're taking with you wherever you go. You take you wherever you go. So if you have negative energy in you, if you have unforgiveness in you, if you have anger in you, no matter what relationship you go get into or what job you get moved into, you're taking those things with you unless you empty your cup purposely, deliberately, intentionally. Empty your cup. You want to empty your cup so that it can be filled with good things. So how does your cup get filled? Number one, your cup gets filled by your relationships. Your relationships transmit stuff to your spirit. The people that you talk to, the people that you have sex with, the people that you work with, and the people that you choose to call friends. When you are in constant communication with someone, you are transferring energy back and forth. And if that person has a good, positive spirit, their energy is going to transfer to you. So by relationships, you fill your cup with relationships. You also get your cup filled by what you take into your spirit. That means what you watch, what you read, and the people and the spirits that you listen to. The people and the spirits that you listen to. And the reason why I put those two together is because a lot of times we're talking to a person and on the outside we see flesh and we see hair and we see eyes and we believe that we're in communication with just another human being. But if that human being is communicating with you and they have a spirit of jealousy or a spirit of resentment or a spirit of insecurity, you are in interaction with that spirit as well. I know it sounds kind of creepy, but if you start looking at things for what they are and looking at people for who they are, we are all driven by unseen forces. For example, motivation is not seen. You can look at what I do and you can say that's a manifestation of motivation. Now, if my boyfriend is cheating on me and if I break up with him and I refuse to forgive him, anger is unseen, but me refusing to forgive him or refusing to get back with him is the manifestation of that anger or the manifestation of that unforgiveness. But everything in this world that is driving our behavior is mainly unseen. So when you're communicating with a person, keep in mind that there are forces at work that are unseen. Your heart has an electromagnetic field that radiates out from you about 6 to 8 feet. It can be measured. It's been proven with science that the heart field is present. Your heart field, it radiates. That's what people call your aura or, your spirit or your energy. So we have this inside of us. We have these different emotions inside of us, and our emotions carry with them a vibration, a frequency, or an energy. And that could be positive and uplifting, or it can be negative. So you also fill your cup by what you take into your spirit. And lastly, you fill your cup by what you say. Your narrative has a lot to do with what your cup is filled with. For example, if you are a very negative person, and you're constantly pointing out how things do not work out for you, you will see that things will continue to not work out for you. Why is that? Because we speak into existence the life that we're living. We speak into existence the life that we're living. And if we get real honest, sometimes we speak into existence the life we think we deserve to live. Now, that is something that a lot of people struggle with. They are really, really struggling with admitting that they don't believe that they deserve more. But let's get honest. We treat ourselves the way we think we deserve to be treated. When our self-esteem is high, we make better decisions. When we're confident, we make better decisions. When we're feeling good about life and we're feeling good about ourselves, we dress ourselves a certain way. We walk with our head up. We enunciate. We become very articulate. We become philosophical, if you will. When we think we know what we're talking about and there's nothing nobody can tell us, we walk around with an air of confidence. And in that confidence, we treat ourselves a certain way. Now, if you are attracting into your life people that constantly mistreat you, constantly abuse you, you have to start looking at how do you really feel about yourself. Because it's one thing to have lip service and say, I feel good about myself. And it's another thing to live a life that reflects that you feel good about yourself. Because if you feel good about yourself, you treat yourself well. And part of treating yourself well is putting people in your inner circle that treat you well, that enrich you, that balance you out, that take you to the next level. Not people that hold you down, not people that make you question your very existence, not people who take low blows to your self-esteem every time they get a chance. So in the new year, it might be time to start reevaluating what you're putting in your cup. What are you filling your cup with? You may want to step back and reevaluate some of those relationships, because it's time for some people to get cut off. And I don't have to tell you who it is, because you know, your heart knows the truth. Your spirit knows the truth. Is this relationship enriching you? Is it taking you to the next level? It could be your coworker, it could be your boss, it could be your significant other, but some of these relationships are keeping you from your destiny. And in order to move forward, some of these relationships have to be deleted, terminated, cut off. That's not to say that you don't forgive someone. You can forgive someone, but know that they're not good for your spirit, or they're not good for where you're trying to go in your life. For example, if you are a person that is trying so hard to stay focused and stay positive, and you come home to negative Nancy, and as soon as you say, I have a business plan, or as soon as you say, I'm trying to go back to school, that person wants to bring up all your faults, all your flaws, and all of your past behaviors. Maybe it's time for you to step back and say, wait a minute, is this relationship enriching me and taking me to the next level, or is this relationship holding me back? You must guard the gate of your mind. I said this in a previous show. You guard the gate of your mind. What you watch, what you read, what you listen to, who you listen to, all gets absorbed into your spirit. And what you put in is what comes out. What you put in is what comes out. Remember when it was okay to be silly? Remember when you were not socially appropriate? Remember when you were a little kid, before your mom and your dad and your grandparents and teachers started telling you what to do and how to behave? Do you remember when you would watch a karate movie, and when the movie was over, you would run outside with your friends or your siblings and you would act out scenes off the movie, and then your parents would say, don't do that, you could hurt your brother, you could hurt your sister? But we're imitators by nature. We have something called mirror neurons in our brain, which means we actually mimic people's emotions. So when somebody's looking down and they're looking sad and you're talking to them, your brain processes this and sees their sadness, and your face begins to reflect or mimic the emotion that the person is feeling that you're looking at. So what you take into your spirit will manifest itself behaviorally. What you take in will always come out. It might not come out right away, but it always eventually comes out. If you ride around listening to music about, just get money, party, have fun, get money, party, have fun, eventually that is going to manifest itself behaviorally. Eventually you're going to be having money, having fun, and there may not be any limit to it depending on how much of that you're taking into your spirit. Now, if you're taking it in moderation and you listen to a few songs in the car here and there, that's fine. But if you then come home and you watch people on TV partying and clubbing, and every movie you go to is about somebody partying and clubbing, and everyone that you're around is partying and clubbing, eventually you're going to start doing that same thing, because what you take in, it always comes out. So you can walk that little thin, risky line and think, okay, I'm going to take all this negativity in and it's not going to affect my spirit. It's not going to affect my behavior. You can do that, because I tried that, and I was in the rap game for a long time. And people who know me know I used to go on tour. I used to be backstage around the drugs, the women, the lights. And I considered myself to be in the world, but not of the world. But how long? How long do you think that lasts? I mean, it lasted a pretty long time considering, but eventually everybody has a breaking point when it comes to exposure to negativity. So I did want to keep going with the whole cup metaphor. You want to fill your cup with good things. And I remember recently I was reading the scripture, and don't take for granted what the scriptures have to offer. Don't take for granted what ancient oral traditions have to offer. And I was reading Matthew 23, and Jesus was talking to the Pharisees. And one of the things that's interesting about the Pharisees at that time is that they were distinguished. They were the elite. They were the spiritual elite. They were distinguished, knowledgeable, respected, and they were passionate about preserving the oral tradition of the Jewish people. And they believed that God gave his law to Moses, and that there were specific ways that you have to follow the law and specific ways that the law had to be applied. So during that time, you had the Essenes, you had the Sadducees, you had the Pharisees, and each little sect was known for something or other. But this particular sect, being the distinguished elite and having knowledge of the law, Jesus had many run-ins with them, and he said to them in Matthew 23, he said, "Woe to you scribes and Pharisees." He calls them hypocrites, and he said, "For you clean the outside of the cup and the plate, but inside you are full of greed and self-indulgence." And what really stood out to me was that these are the people that people in society are looking up to, and Jesus is calling them on the carpet and saying, you take time to polish the outside. You take time to make sure that the cup appears to be clean, but in the inside it's filled with greed and self-indulgence. So sticking with that metaphor of the cup, are you cleaning yourself up on the outside so that people can think that you are confident, so people can think that you are caring and loving? Are you doing that work on the outside but not doing that work on the inside? And he goes on to say, I can't quote word from word, but he goes on to say that you need to take care of what's in the inside. Take care of what's in the inside, what's in the inside of the cup, and then the outside will follow. So my message to you going into this new year is, don't worry about what you appear to be to people. Don't worry about your image. Worry about what you're filling your cup with. Be discerning and be deliberate and intentional about filling your cup with good things, about being a positive person, being a kind person, being a compassionate person. Fill your cup with good things, and the outside will begin to reflect the beauty that is within, because each thing that you fill your cup with that's positive will cause you to glow a little bit more. And I know sometimes you run into people that just have a glow. I know sometimes you meet people and you just say, I like that person. I don't know what it is, but I like that person. I trust that person. I got a connection with that person. That's because that person is doing some work on the inside. And there's other people that you will meet that will be polished and groomed and articulate, and they may even have a title, but you don't trust them. What is that? What is that is inside of us that allows us to discern good from bad, righteousness and evil? Whatever it is inside of us, whatever you want to attribute it to is fine. But what is really important is that you use that spiritual guidance system that God has blessed you with, because it's inside of you, where you can discern and you can determine, this is right for me and this is wrong for me. And right now, I know you got some relationships that's just doing nothing but bringing you down. Right now, I know you got some business plans that you didn't fully develop yet because you just get discouraged every time you talk to certain people. Well, today is the day. Is no better time than the present. Get busy. Start working on that business plan. Start evaluating your relationships. And if you have to cut someone off, cut them off and release them in love. Release them in love. No hard feelings. You were in my life for a season. No hard feelings. And, send them positive energy and positive thoughts. But more so, you want to focus on you building yourself up and you being positive about who you are and who you are becoming and reaching your destiny. Nobody needs to be weighed down by anyone else. It's no one else's fault if you're mad, if you're angry. That means you allow someone to come into your life and to throw you off your square and to get you mad, get you angry, get you sad, get you depressed. Okay, we're human. We're going to go through that, but you don't want to stay stuck. And that's where depression comes in. That's where suicidal tendencies come in. That's where drug abuse comes in when we get stuck. Drug abuse, substance abuse. We get stuck. So it's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to feel betrayed. But it's not okay to be stuck. You feel what you feel. And then you tell yourself a different story. You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you make a better decision the next time. Every relationship, every trial, every error, everything you've ever been through has been preparing you to give birth to something beautiful. And if you believe that, then there's nothing that can stop you, because the power of belief is amazing. So on our next episode, we are really going to dive deep into the power of belief. And remember, all are welcome to listen. I'm not a preacher, but I do believe in God. I do believe in the power of having faith. I do believe in the power of belief. So I want to really share with you how our belief system creates our reality. And we'll get to that in the next episode. I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Reaching Your Potential, and I enjoyed talking to you this evening. Have a great evening.